Hey Gemini, how's it going? We're here with a timeless reading. Welcome. The first card that we have out is Nine of Pentacles. Okay. Nine of Pentacles and Ten of Swords. This means that something is closing out or you are facing the ending of something here. Why this is a good thing, even though initially it can be something that's hard to experience, because Ten of Swords usually alludes to something that, even though we can look at it and be like, okay, like I'm on track, or this is only happening because it's supposed to be happening, at the same time it can be something that's difficult to take in, as Ten of Swords is sort of wrapping your head around something that's occurring. So Ten of Swords can be a moment where there is something painful that happens, and that's going to be the end of that situation. But what this means is that there is some type of transformation that's occurring. There's a type of transformation that's happening. And this means that you're going to be released from this cycle. But you can be feeling weary coming off of this. Something that I want to say, I'm seeing you come out in the energy of the Nine of Pentacles, so just know that, like, whatever this ending is, it's not happening because you weren't showing up or you weren't doing something that you were supposed to do. So in case you were in some type of situation like that, this seems like it was something that was out of your hands, like beyond your control is what I'm seeing. Maybe that's part of the reason that you feel maybe weary coming out of this, or maybe it's just something that has been internalized a little bit. But I do feel like it's important to remark upon that, because you know, sometimes you go through something and it happens in a way that you may not like, and you can look at it and be like, should I have done something differently? Was I not doing something that I was supposed to do? I'm not seeing that be the case for this. You coming out in Nine of Pentacles shows that you showed up and you did exactly what you needed to do, exactly what was required of you. You couldn't have like done any more. So just know that about this situation. Nonetheless, that may not make it any easier that this is closing out, and there can be a part of you that feels just set off a little bit because of this. Now I'm looking at Six of Pentacles and I'm looking at Nine of Swords. There can be a concern regarding an exchange, regarding balance, regarding fairness even. What you're giving. Relationships that you're involved within. I wonder too, even though you could have felt like you wanted something, if that's why this is hard to release this or like accept that this is coming to a close, what this looks like to me is that something may not have actually been to your standards. Even if you could have been trying to convince yourself of that, looking at this Six of Pentacles is almost feeling like something may have actually not been good enough for you, Gemini. And you could have been looking at it and felt like it was, but I almost feel like this is one of those moments of divine intervention where you could have been like, no, it's enough, it's enough, it's enough, and it actually wasn't. See, you coming out in Nine of Pentacles shows you being like very capable, you're in a very powerful energy, like very able to like provide and do what you need to do. And I get the feeling that if you're looking at this and you know this call was like out of your hands, how this happened, it feels very much like this is one of those times of, yeah, like divine interference with this, that you were being pulled out of a situation that actually was not, it like wouldn't have met your standards. Meaning there can be something that's much better fit for you. So it's not even that, yeah, it's not even that this situation needed more from you. You would have needed more from it, and that's why you're being pulled out of this. See, justice on the bottom of the deck, very much so. As I said before, even though you could have been like, is it my fault that this came to an end? If I only just did that one thing or like showed up in this way, maybe it would have worked out. I'm not seeing that be the case here. I'm seeing this be more so like, even if you could have been trying to convince yourself, no, it's enough, it's enough, it's enough, I'm seeing that energetically this would not have been enough for you. Like, it was not meeting what it should have been based off of what you were bringing to the table. It's like it wasn't reciprocal is what I'm seeing. And even though you can be feeling concerned about wherever it is that you're going next, it feels like it's going to give you the opportunity to find yourself in a situation that's actually much more reflective of what you're actually worth. And I don't think that this situation would have been reflective of that, even if you were like compromising and feeling like you were okay with that. It just wouldn't have been enough. Not energetically anyway. And maybe that's also something that you're learning too. Maybe you find yourself in situations where you compromise your worth and you're like, no, this is what I deserve, or this is fine, or like that'll do. And I feel like this is one of those times where it's beyond your control. And also too, energetically, your guides are like, you're gonna be better off somewhere else. So allow yourself to really, to let that sink in. It just feels classically like it was not compatible. Maybe not as compatible as you would have liked to believe. That doesn't make it hurt any less. It can still be just difficult, like a hard pill to swallow here with this. You can also feel a little bit heartbroken about this as well. Yeah, I get the feeling of this being one of those times where you can know that later on you're going to be okay with this, but right now you can just be feeling all the just raw feelings that you're experiencing based off of everything that's occurring. I'm also seeing you two looking at things and being like, I don't want to be hurt further by anything. Yes, so classic. I wonder too if what was going on with this situation, like it wasn't compatible with your values, but I wonder even from a perspective of morality, if that could have also had something to do with it too. Morality doesn't have to be the only thing, but it can kind of be like from a cultural perspective or from a philosophical perspective or from a perspective of morality. This may have not been something that totally aligned, or even just when it comes to what you could provide and how you can show up, like needing to be in something that's more fitting for you, something that's of a higher quality, something that's of a higher standard. And I just get this sense that this situation was not reflective of that. I want to be mindful of the language that I'm using and basically what's expressed through that, but I just feel like this was one of those situations where you're like too good for this. It very much feels like that from what I'm seeing. Like you're not meant to be in something that you're going to be stressing out needlessly and it's still like not even enough. Again, even though you could have been trying to convince yourself of that, I'm just seeing it be not for like what you show up with. Now, given all of this going on, I'm definitely seeing you in a bit of a defensive position because of going through something where you are impacted by it. You can definitely be feeling like heartbroken or something along the lines of that, and then feeling weary about other things because of not wanting to get like hurt any further. So I am seeing that going on here. You can also feel protective too of the things that you've established within your life, especially the things that allow you to feel steady. I'm seeing too that there's going to be a period of recovery. Feels more psychological than anything. Where there's going to be a getting back to normal, just mentally. You know, like you're in something, you go through something, it feels intense, then you need time to recover. It's like that type of thing that I'm seeing going on. I think that the part of you that likes to like have something and stick within that can be feeling a bit uncomfortable with having to go through a change right now. Just the part of you that's like, when I get to a place, I like to sit there and sort of just stay in that lane. It doesn't have to be like all across your entire life. It can just maybe have to do with situations like this. There's maybe a consistency that you seek or a constancy that you seek. And because of going through something right now where there's sort of a surrendering and a closing out, and knowing that you're going through a transition, knowing that you're going through a change, there can be a part of you that's sort of concerned with having to make some type of adjustment currently. So yeah. The part of you that has a hard time being flexible at times, only because there's definitely a preference for, if I'm here, I just want to stay here. Like, I don't want to keep being moved around. It's like that type of thing. That part of you can be feeling like pretty uncomfortable basically with what's going on. But I am seeing something else, something that you're stepping into, and I'm seeing this be something that's much more compatible. I'm seeing there be something going on the axis line of Taurus and Scorpio, which is very interesting because these are like seen as being like sister signs. And the axis point of, well, the axis line of Scorpio and Taurus is about the stability that we gain through, essentially, in some ways, it's more than this, but I'm simplifying here. Taurus is about sort of like the material gain that we have and the stability that we feel because of that material gain. Like if I have this stuff around me, I'm gonna feel secure. I'm gonna feel like I have what I need. And that's on the Taurus side of it. And then on the Scorpio side of it, it's about actually shedding and not becoming attached to the material things. And because of being in these situations where constantly this material stuff, situations, people, experiences, finances even for some of you, get sort of ripped away. So you're not, even if you start building an attachment, it gets pulled away so you can't really anymore. It's so you create this strength within your psyche, so no matter what is going on externally, you have stability internally. So that's sort of the axis line. It's about stability. Taurus is more so about like external stability, or like how we feel stable internally based off of what's going on externally, what we have around us, and our ability to sort of like make things happen around us and gather the things that we want and feel secure based off of that. Like, I'm feeling really comfortable. Scorpio is about not relying on anything externally, but relying basically on everything internally and having to really manage and level things emotionally and psychologically for yourself. So I feel that axis being like triggered, highlighted, activated right now in these things that are coming up for you currently. So you can feel in a way like what's going on is a bit destabilizing because of that, because there was some type of attachment to what you had, as is normal. You know, I'm attached to the familiarity of this or the habit of this, or just the constancy of this, of knowing what's going on, even if it's not the most compatible situation. And now in going through something, as the death card is like, okay, come on, you have to hand it over now, but I'm going to give you something better. That's basically what's happening. And you're just going through that adjustment period. But things are definitely, you're being put into a situation that's going to be so much more aligned. I'm seeing Six of Pentacles and I'm seeing Page of Wands here. And this is going to be reflective of something that will actually be like matching your values and compatible with your standards. So you will be better off for this, even though it can be just something difficult to sort of take in here. I think this will also, like, where you're next stepping, you're gonna feel like this can actually be something that's more so stable for you. Because I wondered too if what you had been doing, like, it wasn't actually as stable as you may have been trying to convince yourself it was. And what you're stepping into now, it feels very much like this is something that you'll just feel is more fitting for you. It'll feel more compatible with you in more ways than one. It's something that you'll feel motivated to be doing, and that's because it's sort of giving you what you need, the fuel you need to walk that path. And what you were doing before, it may have just not been like enough. There could have been some type of difference that you kept having to like make up, but then you could have been very much over giving, is what this seems like was happening. I do again get this sense of feeling like triggered by the death card. But I get at the same time, and what that means is that death is going to come through and be like, okay, this thing has to end. I need you to hand it over. And there can just be a part of you that like is just oriented in a way where you may have had your mind made up that like you weren't going to release something, or like it wasn't going to be over, like something like that. And now the death card is being like, no, you have to hand that over. I need that so I can give you this next thing. And there can be a part of you that's almost like not wanting to. I get this sense of resistance towards this, but it's gonna happen regardless. And it feels like you working with yourself psychologically to sort of allow your mind to expand and open and accept this is what's going to be going on is definitely going to be something that will be very helpful. Because I'm seeing that this next cycle that you're stepping into, it's meant to be something that's restorative for you. It's not meant to be something that's going to be further disruptive. The biggest disruption is happening currently. What you're stepping into next, it's going to feel like stabilizing for you on a psychological level, because you're going to feel safe psychologically. And also too, I'm seeing that once you get like plopped down onto this path that I'm seeing you're going to be walking, you'll be very happy upon that, is what I'm seeing. So just know that there are some like really good things to be looking forward to, and that is where you're being guided. And I do get, again, like it's going to be better than this situation that you've been in, even though there can be a part of you that's like, I made up my mind that I was going to be sticking with this, and now that's not the case. But what you're going to is going to be a better fit for you. So like maybe allow your mind to be open to the possibility that something could be better than what this was, even though there can be a part of you that's stubbornly like, I made up my mind, this is what I wanted to stick with, even if it's like not aligned for me. It's kind of like that, digging your heels in, which is also part of the axis of the Scorpio Taurus line that we have here. This is about like allowing yourself to open yourself and to open your mind to the possibility that at the time maybe you had to convince yourself that that was the right thing for you, and now something that's going to be a much better fit is coming through, and that's what you're going to be doing. So just keep your mind open here, even though it can be difficult to sort of accept that this is what's going on. It's going to make the transition easier because it feels like the transition is going to be happening anyway. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing going on here. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.